You are sitting alone at your kitchen table at 11 p.m. after another long day. The kids are finally asleep, or the latest business setback is still spinning in your mind, and a heavy wave of exhaustion mixed with quiet fear washes over you. You wonder how much longer you can keep carrying everything by yourself. If you are a single parent juggling endless responsibilities, or an entrepreneur navigating uncertain waters, you know this feeling all too well. The isolation, the constant pressure, and the nagging voice that says, maybe you are not enough.
Here is the truth that changes everything.
The strongest, most successful single parents and entrepreneurs are not the ones with superhuman willpower or endless energy. They are the ones who have mastered the psychology of building resilient networks, turning their social circle into a powerful, invisible support system that carries them through the hardest seasons. In today's world, where loneliness is at epidemic levels, especially among single parents and business owners, learning to leverage social contagion,
the science of how emotions, behaviors, and mindsets spread through relationships, is the ultimate advantage. Stick with me until the end of this video, because you will walk away with practical, proven strategies to intentionally build a network that lifts you up, protects your mental health, and multiplies your strength so you never have to face life's storms alone again. Your brain is wired for connection far more than we realize.
Decades of social psychology research show that humans are profoundly influenced by social contagion. Just like a cold spreads in a classroom, emotions, habits, and resilience levels spread automatically through the people we spend time with. When you surround yourself with calm, determined, optimistic individuals, those qualities begin to rub off on you without any extra effort. The opposite is also true. Chronic complainers or highly anxious people can pull your energy down through the same invisible mechanism. A landmark study from Harvard, tracking thousands of people over decades, found that happiness and resilience spread through social networks up to 3 degrees of separation. Your friend's friend's friend can literally influence how you handle stress. For single parents and entrepreneurs, this science is life-changing. Building a resilient network is not about collecting more contacts or attending awkward networking events. It is about deliberately designing your social environment so that positivity, strength, and practical support flow toward you naturally every single day. You stop surviving alone and start thriving together.
The first key habit is intentional network auditing.
Take an honest look at the 5 people you interact with most often. Ask yourself, do they leave me feeling drained or energized after we talk? Do they model the kind of resilience I want for my family or my business?
Science shows we unconsciously adopt the emotional tone and coping styles of our closest connections. Create a simple list right now in your mind or on paper. For anyone who consistently adds stress or negativity, create gentle boundaries while actively seeking new relationships that bring calm, problem-solving energy. Single parents can start small by joining one local parent support group or online community where people share real wins, not just complaints. Entrepreneurs can look for mastermind groups or accountability partners who celebrate progress instead of dwelling on failures. The goal is to shift your inner circle so that resilience becomes contagious in the best possible way. Within weeks, you will notice your own stress tolerance rising and your problem-solving ability sharpening simply because your network is now feeding you strength instead of draining it. Next, master the art of reciprocal vulnerability, the psychological glue that turns casual contacts into deep, resilient bonds. Most people hide their struggles, especially single parents and entrepreneurs who fear looking weak. But research from Brené Brown and many relational psychology studies proves that measured vulnerability creates instant trust and opens the door to genuine support. The habit is simple yet powerful. Share one real challenge you are facing with someone in your network, and then immediately ask about theirs. For example, this week has been tough balancing work and the kids. How are you holding up with your latest launch? This small exchange triggers oxytocin release in both brains, strengthening the bond and making future help much more likely. For single parents, this might mean opening up in a parenting circle about a difficult co-parenting moment. For entrepreneurs, it could be admitting cash flow worries in a trusted peer group. The magic happens because vulnerability is contagious too. When you show up real, others feel safe to do the same, and suddenly you have a group of people who truly have your back. Practice this weekly. One authentic conversation can transform an acquaintance into a lifeline. The third powerful strategy is creating micro-support rituals that make help automatic instead of awkward to ask for. Resilient networks thrive on predictable small exchanges rather than dramatic rescues. Set up simple systems like a weekly text thread with 2 or 3 other single parents where you share one win,
one struggle, and one request for advice. Entrepreneurs can establish monthly virtual coffee chats with clear rules, no venting-only solutions, and resource sharing. Behavior science shows that when support is built into regular low-pressure rituals, people give and receive help far more consistently because it feels normal, not burdensome. These micro-rituals also spread positive contagion. When one person shares how they solved a childcare issue or closed a difficult client, the solution travels through the group, raising everyone's capability. Over time, your network becomes a living safety net that catches you before you fall. Single parents report feeling dramatically less overwhelmed once these rituals are in place. And entrepreneurs often credit peer circles for helping them survive their toughest pivots. Tool number 4 is strategic network expansion, using the ripple effect principle. Instead of trying to meet dozens of new people, focus on deepening 3 high-quality connections and then intentionally leverage their networks. When you build real trust with someone, they naturally introduce you to others who share similar values and resilience levels. Psychology research on social capital confirms that warm introductions spread positive traits even more effectively than random meetings. For single parents, this might mean asking a trusted friend in your parent group to connect you with someone who successfully navigated a similar custody challenge. For entrepreneurs, it could be requesting an introduction to a founder who has scaled through economic downturns. Always offer value first. Share a helpful article, solve a small problem, or celebrate their win before asking for anything. This reciprocity strengthens the entire web, making your network more resilient with every new link. In 6 months, you can go from feeling isolated to having a diverse, supportive community that multiplies your emotional and practical resources. Finally, cultivate collective resilience storytelling, the habit that turns individual struggles into shared strength. In your network gatherings, whether in person or online, make it a rule to share short stories of overcoming hardship with the specific lessons learned. Neuroscience shows that hearing others' recovery narratives activates mirror neurons and builds emotional immunity in the listener. Single parents can create a monthly story night where each person shares how they handled a tough week with the kids. Entrepreneurs can end mastermind calls with a resilience win round. These stories spread hope and practical strategies through social contagion, making every member mentally tougher. Over time, the entire group develops a collective identity of, "We get through hard things together," which becomes a powerful shield against burnout and isolation. You stop seeing yourself as a lone warrior and start experiencing the deep relief of being part of a resilient tribe. You now hold the complete psychology blueprint for building resilient networks that will transform your life as a single parent or entrepreneur. Intentional auditing to curate energizing connections. Reciprocal vulnerability to create real bonds. Micro-support rituals to make help. Automatic strategic expansion through warm introductions, and collective storytelling to spread unbreakable resilience. These habits work because they harness the natural power of social contagion, turning your environment into a source of strength instead of stress. Start today with the simplest step. Audit your current 5 closest contacts and reach out to just one person this week with a small act of reciprocal vulnerability. Feel the shift as isolation begins to melt and support starts flowing in. You were never meant to do this alone. Your brain is wired to thrive in community, and now you know exactly how to build the kind of network that carries you forward with grace and power. In the challenging seasons ahead, your resilient network will be the difference between breaking down and breaking through. You deserve that support. You deserve to feel strong, steady, and surrounded. The science is clear, the path is practical, and the transformation is waiting. Take the first step right now. Build your network with intention, and watch how beautifully your life begins to lift. You have got this, and from today forward, you never have to face it alone again.